Welcome to the first ever episode of
the Hatten Health Podcast.
Yay.
We gotta start with a little toast of
Cheers.
cheers. Oh yeah, just like our introduction when we first announced this
We
Hatten
were
Health
starting
venture.
Hatten Health, a little over a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
When we first started out, we even talked about making a podcast.
Yeah.
Do you have a history of doing podcasting? And,
Right.
wanted to make our own.
Yeah, I was inspired. I was excited to do it because when I believe it was like episode 20 of my Infinite Ambition podcast. Abby actually was a guest on that podcast, and I loved her voice so much. The way she told stories, the way she answered questions, and the way she just sounded so comfortable. When she brought the idea of doing a Hatten Health podcast, I immediately said yes. I'm like, let's do it. And I'm a fan of podcasting. I'm a fan of talking on the mic, on camera, and starting my own podcast. I was like, why not? Both talk about things that relative to our fields and what we bring to Hatten Health and what we bring to you. That this is a great forum to do it, along with all the content we're giving you and the information we give you in Hatten Health.
Yeah, so if you don't know, if you're new to us, my name is Abby.
And I'm Kari.
And we are the Hattens.
Yeah.
Owners and basically
nutrition coaches,
the
proprietors,
faces behind
creators.
Hatten Health.
Yeah, all that all wrapped up in one and two.
And so the reason why we started this business a little over a year ago, well, there's lots of different reasons. Yeah. But ultimately, we wanted to help families, especially young families with toddler-age kids, with mealtime, with getting not only the parents but their kids nutrition information so that they can start off healthy from the get-go, because the chronic disease epidemic,
yeah,
if you will, is ever growing, especially in the United States. And so there's not enough information shared to parents about how to healthily feed their kids and get their kids on the right path.
Right, and there can be there's not enough information out there. At the same time, there's also an information overload, which means there's a lot of crap out there you have to filter through to find the right information.
Noise.
Exactly, and knowing what's proper, what's right, what's the right way to go, what's the wiser decisions to make. And sometimes that can be a lot of work. Actually, all the time, it's a lot of work if you don't have the right guidance or you don't have the right tools or people to help you get you there. And why not use people that are using real life experience to help get you there? You got book smarts and practical life smarts, all that combined in one, and you can't lose. So that's part of the motivation behind what we're doing, why we're doing it. That's a big part of our business model.
And becoming parents ourselves, right?
For sure.
You think you know how to eat right. You think you know how to meal prep, all of that stuff as an adult, right? When it's just the two of you, or if you're single. But then when you add a spouse into the mix and then start making a family, having a family, adding kids into the mix, it totally changes how you operate, what you buy, how you think.
Your careers, time of day, whether one or both of you is working, that plays a big factor in also, because you got to manage time. Time management is a huge part.
So when we found that we were starting to struggle in that area, we're like, okay, we need to figure something out. We need to create a system. We need a better routine. We need a better system in place to figure out how we're going to do this and juggle having a daughter as well. And noticing when she started developing some picky eating habits, wanting to research that, try to figure out how we can prevent this from happening, because so many parents that we know or that we talk about, they're picky eaters. I myself was a picky eater growing up. My mom reminds me that almost every day of how picky I was. It brings it up all the time. And so I wanted to make sure that our daughter and future kids are not that way. So I did a lot of research, and while doing all this research and furthering my education in nutrition, I was like, while I'm doing this, I should be helping others as well. because trying to take the time to do this is a lot, and it, like we mentioned before, it's overwhelming, especially for new parents. So
Yeah.
I wanted to make an effort to try to help other parents as well, while I'm trying to help ourselves too.
Exactly.
And that's kind of the reason behind Hatten Health, is not only were we trying to help ourselves and trying to figure things out along the way, is
Right.
while we're doing that, we should be helping other parents as well, so they don't have to do it. We can do it for them.
Exactly. Like, because if we plan on having more kids, we don't want to be struggling along the way with meal times or with just nutrition. And we would like to also educate our daughter and any future kids on why we're feeding them, what we're feeding them, how we're feeding them this, and just giving them the tools to go about the world as they grow up, living a healthier lifestyle, making healthier choices. So when they get to their late teens, 20s, it won't be as much of a struggle. It'll be more just natural to them. It'll be a regular way of life, and they won't have to deal with the ailments and sicknesses that come along with bad nutrition later on. I mean, yeah, of course, things will come up along the way in life, as it does with everybody, but it won't be as major. They'll have a strong foundation, a healthy foundation to grow off of. So we want to use our individual expertise in the fields that we come from and our backgrounds to teach that to everybody, especially parents, young kids, or just people who want to know in general. You don't have to be a parent. You can just be somebody who wants the information, because the information we give and the information we've been learning and researching and applying ourselves applies to everybody.
Yeah. Even though, yes, our main focus is for toddler parents,
Mm-hmm.
it's for everybody too, right? Whatever we provide, our goal is to share all our knowledge and all our research and everything that we can to help people better their lives, better their health, and feel empowered too. Because when you know what you're eating, know where it's coming from, how it's beneficial to you or not beneficial to you, and just educating yourself, it's empowering. In today's society, we're so focused on conveniences and how quickly can I make a meal, and not really noticing how it's fueling your body, how you're feeling. It it can be empowering when you know where your food sources are coming from, how it's made, what the different nutrients are.
Mm-hmm.
It's empowering, and not enough people in this day and age know that, because we're just so focused on conveniences, how quickly we could get somewhere, how quickly can we get it.
Yeah.
We're just on to the next thing, on to the next thing. We don't take the time to actually slow down, and those conveniences are actually really detrimental to our health in the long run. You think is beneficial in the moment, but 5, 10, 50 years down the road, you're going to be winding up in a hospital bed.
Yeah. I mean, you want to invest in your health now or invest in medical bills later on. Those are your two options. And I kind of had some wake up calls about 10, 11 years ago. After one of my aunts passed away, I started learning more about my family history with cancer and strokes and things of that nature, and how much of it was in my family's bloodline along the way. It made me learn a lot about, okay, how do I break from that path? How do I get myself in a healthier route? Because I was not living the healthiest as far as nutrition goes. It wasn't that I didn't care. It was just fell victim to a lot of convenience. And me working in restaurants my whole life, there was a lot of snacking on the go, or a lot of just eating what was available, not really sitting down and taking time to focus on
And
what
if you're not,
was putting in my body.
recognizing it or even thinking about it, it's
Mm-hmm.
easy to do.
And right after I had this kind of like this revelation or moment of reflection, if you will, no plug. I was I was going to a film festival and I saw a couple of films, documentary films. One was called Water, and the other one was called Rotten, and those opened my eyes a lot to just the food and beverage industry. It opened my eyes a lot to commerce, agriculture. Opened my eyes a lot to industry, and just where the process of food from the ground to our plate and everything that happens in between, everything that does not happen in between, what's supposed to happen, and then the money that gets involved, big pharma, all that. I started learning a lot. I started going down rabbit holes in YouTube, just self-educating myself and applying that towards just bettering my body with the physical health, physical fitness. Cut back the alcohol by a lot. And I cut the junk food and salt and sugar down by a whole lot, just a drastic amount. And if anybody knows me past 15 years, they know what I used to be into, what my diet was like, how much I used to party and all that stuff, how little at the time I thought I was doing okay, but looking back, I realized I did not take good care of myself at all. I didn't want to pay for that in my 40s to 50s. Maybe feeling some ailments of that now, but I'm also feeling the benefits of getting better, of better taking care of myself. I started going really hard at that. And then by the time I met Abby, I was starting to get really far removed from an unhealthy lifestyle and stepping more into much healthier lifestyle. Then when we started talking about, after we got married, started talking about growing a family, that just turned the switch all the way up to 10. Like, okay, it's full throttle. Health from here on out. And it became less of a chore and more fun. And I started to miss the bad habits a lot less to the point where.
Because you had a motivation.
Exactly. The motivation is a big thing. You got to find your motivation. That's what I tell a lot of people all the time when I get asked, like, how do you want to stay in shape so much? How do you want get yourself geared up to work out or eat healthy when the temptation to eat bad rears its ugly head? It's like, well, you just got to find your different motivations. I had a motivation before, but then once we became parents, the motivation just went through the roof. That goes without saying. You know, you stop living for you. You live for the next generation. You live for your children along with your spouse. And it doubles up even more if your spouse is supportive or even pushing you along the way, because she's pushing me without realizing she has. Yes. Like with being younger, okay, I want to keep up with my wife, my kids, crazy sheepdogs. You just want to, it's not just about looking younger, but you want to feel younger while growing gracefully at the same time. You're going to get the compliment of, you look young for your age for so long, to the point where, yeah, but you have to actually feel that way too. You know, it's only cosmetic is only on the outside. And I'm not perfect. Imperfections show all the time, not just physically, but sometimes when your imperfections pop up, just know how to regulate that and manage it, how to suppress it when you can. Everything, we all have our vices sometimes in food and snacks, whatever, junk food, in moderation. We preach moderation so much, just having the discipline to spread it out sparingly, very little, not to overindulge, because too much of anything is bad for you. So even with the good things, like all the healthy items, you balance it out, things work out well for you. You can't just sit and eat carrots all day 24/7. It's not going to be beneficial for you as you think. So the education is one of the things that we like to instill in everybody, because we're constantly educating ourselves too, as well as everybody should. You can never stop learning anything. Nobody knows everything about everything. Would you like to talk about a little bit about like your background, how you came to want to apply what you know in Hatten Health, what makes you official in this?
Yeah, before that though, I just want to touch on something that you were talking about too, about like the motivation and the mental aspect too, is something that not is really addressed very often when you think about health and wellness. Like, sure, everybody knows, you got to eat right, nutrition, fitness, all those things, sleep, stress management, but it's the mental capacity too. It's the discipline, the mental discipline,
For sure.
being in the right place mentally is one of probably the most important part, because you can have all the information in the world, but if you're not either ready to absorb it or take it in or apply it, you're not going to have any luck. I mean, I'm speaking from experience. Having 10 plus years in the health and wellness industry, I have a degree in nutrition. I have certificates, certifications, all of that. But for so long, I just mentally was not applying what I know. I just was stuck in my head, and that also led to a lot of just issues mentally, because I knew what I should be doing, and there was like this brick wall that I couldn't get over mentally. It's like I know, and I've heard other dietitians and different health professionals talk about that too, where it's like you have all the information, you know what you need to do, but you just have like this roadblock, and you just creates even more guilt and self-doubt, because it's like, why can't I do it? How can I expect other people to do it if I can't do it? So especially since having our daughter, just really working on the mental aspect of it too has been a total game changer. And like you having a good motivation, I finally had a motivation, right? And also I was so focused on trying to do it by myself. I felt like I had to do it by myself. I didn't need a coach. I didn't need a support group or anything like that. Like, I have the information, I should be able to do it myself. But when you have a supportive partner or a supportive network around you, that makes or breaks it for a lot of people. And it's so true. And a lot of that gets so negated when it comes to like health and wellness sometimes.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail right on the head with that. Finding support and the motivation, getting past that mental block. For me, it was that also, in the piggyback of what you said about the mental block. It was a confidence thing for me. Like, there was something that I needed to break, get that confidence level up to get past the hump of my impatience of getting a better body or feeling better on the inside, realizing that it takes time and work. None of it happens fast.
Everybody wants it super fast and done quickly and move on to the next thing. And sometimes when it comes to your health, it's the slow and steady. The turtle wins the race, even though we don't want it to be.
Right. There's no magic button. There's no magic pill, no matter what you may have seen or heard. There's no magic pill that can speed up the process naturally. We all know there's things out there that may speed up some things unnaturally, which has side effects. But as far as like every 100% natural growth and development, it just takes time and work. And part of my motivation and my butt kicking moments, plural moments, because there was more than one, was just like people that I knew that were close to me or that I just knew of, who either had really bad accidents, life-changing accidents, but somehow bounced back from that over time, or had some kind of illness or morbid obesity that worked their way out of those back to health. People that was very, very elderly, still doing things that I couldn't even do. I'm like, hey, well, what's my excuse? None of that's, I'm not affected by any of that, so I have no excuse. Like, I can need a bunch of time of the day. You just need a little bit of time and effort and just being consistent at that. So I did that, and I just started going down rabbit holes of finding motivational things on YouTube, information from people that I knew who were in the health and wellness space, or people that I knew who were either bodybuilders or fitness instructors, just talking to them. And then just kept looking at myself in the mirror like, okay, yeah, just gotta bite the bullet, fight through the beginning, which is the hard part, and then it'll become routine. So yes, there were moments of my life where I kind of fell off the wagon a little bit. And once I caught myself making excuses, that's when I kicked myself back in the butt again and said, okay, no, you can't let yourself slide. Like, I'm a big person on perception. And I always think about, what do I want my future self to look back at me now and think? Do I want to look ahead and be looking like just the out of shape dad on the couch that can't keep up with his kids, or
dad bod.
I can't make her happy because I can't be around with her? I'm like, I have no energy and tired and grumpy all the time. Do I want to be that? No. I look at other people that I know's parents who just didn't care at all. I'm like, do I want to end up like that? No. I look at what I don't want to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and use that as a driving force. That also helped me regulate toning down the partying, toning down the drinking, and all that stuff. Like, okay, do I want to end up like that guy over there? That's not going to be me. So I'm done with that. And then that's also part of growth and maturity. But and that's among other things that were motivating me. But those are some of the things that jumped in my head when you was talking about getting past that mental block and getting past that glass ceiling of like, why am I stuck here? Because those moments do come up every now and then. I spoke about that in many reels, Facebook posts and stuff like that over the years. Because I'm the first one to tell you I'm not nowhere near perfect, but striving for a type of perfection is what keeps that rabbit chasing that carrot, so to speak.
And that's our goal with this podcast and with our business too, is to share and show that we are not perfect. And hopefully that is relatable to other people and through this podcast. And if you should follow us on social media, if you become one of our clients, our coaching clients, we will show you how imperfect we are, but how we make it work and how we try to make it work. And hopefully that is relatable to you, and that we're not just some perfect influencer on social media. We try to be real. We try to share imperfections, because nobody is, like you said, nobody's perfect. It's just whether people are willing to admit that.
Right. And people I've absorbed information from the best are the people that are relatable, real people with real life situations, real stories with real information from their brains. they're not like just some human bot spewing. And that's one of the things that's gotten me through just my elementary and junior high and high school time was the teachers that were relatable and down to earth and spoke to us like human students and not just talking to us like we're just on a screen or something like that, because anybody could just read anything out of a book or off a screen and think they learned it. But you're hearing something from somebody's mouth or brain, they're talking to you in a relatable form. That's how I absorb the most information the best. And I took that with me when I was in the military, cooking on cruise lines afterwards for years, jumping around through different types of restaurants in the industry, whether it be mom and pop restaurants, chain restaurants, hotels, through working my way up the ranks, different types of cuisine, absorbing much information as I can from all the chefs that I was learning from. I didn't go to a formal culinary school. I did go to our MOS school. For those of you in the military, it's military occupational specialty, which your job was in the military. I was a cook. So they put you through a culinary training there for a few months. It was a school, it was an accredited school, but it wasn't like the Cordon Bleu or CIA or something like that, one of those big fancy ones. But yeah, that was the basis of my culinary training. Then everything was throughout the workforce through then. The people I worked with, the restaurants I worked in, the different chefs I worked for, managers, restaurateurs, the owners, sommeliers, different learning wine pairings, up until the point where I started to been able to run not my own, but running a restaurant and be a manager, upper management, and that grew from there. So that was the basis, the background of my culinary experience in a quick run through for those who haven't heard it yet. And I decided to take that and think, okay, all this love I used to have for all the junk foods, sweets and candies and things of that nature, how can I use that passion and that information, those recipe informations and things of that nature, how can I turn that into something healthy? How can I make the healthy foods, healthy snacks be as fun to eat as the junk food, all the crap? How can I make it sweet and fun to eat, but in a healthier way, and still make it look appealing also, and you get the same satisfaction to it without the crash afterwards, without the bloat afterwards, without the guilt or the constipation or all the other bad things that come along with that.
Well, also, when we first got engaged and moved in together, we first finally got an apartment together, and I was doing really good. I was like doing really good with my health and nutrition at that point. And I knew how much he liked to bake at home because he didn't like to bake or couldn't bake at work. And you were a grill cook at the time.
Yeah.
And so he liked to experiment.
Prime. Yeah.
When you were at home on your off days with baking and different things of those sweets and all kinds of stuff. So I told him when we moved in together, I was like, you cannot do that.
Would have been a bad influence.
As if it's in the house right now, my willpower is going to be real low.
I would have been helping.
And I'm doing really good right now.
I would have been
that
helping.
Temptation.
Would not have been steel sharpening steel at all. There would have been erasers rubbing against each other, just falling down to nothing. If I would have stayed on that path, or if I would have let her stay on that path too, brought her along with me. So it ended up becoming steel sharpening steel.
Well, and then we had some big major moments happen shortly after that. So then I was like, okay, yes, bake the bad things. I need comfort food, and then then COVID happened, and then
that was the moment we both fell off for a while.
Yeah, fell off
until we came back. And then when we started acquiring workout gear in a room in our house, which we converted to a gym, I know, speaking for myself, I said, there's definitely no excuse when there's a gym 10 feet away from where we sleep. Why am I not doing something? Even if I have to get up an hour early in the morning, it will be worth it. And I end up loving it to the point where I ended up running 3 half marathons. Where before that, I hated running.
You did really good.
So I think I forgot where I was getting with the snacks. So I was back to the healthier versions of the bad foods. I wanted to go on a quest to figure out how can I take bad recipes and make them healthier, but still fun to eat and fun to look at. Because a lot of people are visual like me, or visual eaters. Eat with your eyes first, especially if you're scrolling on the gram. You're like, ooh, so you want to have the same ooh factor with something that's really, really healthy. So how can I bring that to not just sweets, but all food? And now when we started Hatten Health, it's like, okay, How can we do that with toddlers? Start it early, not just now when we're adults. Start it when they're early, give them a base of making healthy foods fun to eat. So it became educational and fun and adventurous for both
and
of
just
us.
getting her involved too. And
Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
not just making the things and presenting them to her, but actually having her hands-on in the kitchen too at a young age.
that's such a joy. They take more pride in what they're eating when they had a hand in making it and understanding where it came from. Like taking her to the store. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's so much fun. Watch.
Creating that positive food culture from the beginning is what our goal was. So
Exactly. What else you want to talk about in this first episode? I feel like we went through a lot of what we wanted to get out
yeah,
there at first.
our first episode, we just want to explain a little bit about ourselves,
Yeah,
and we'll dive into that in more detail through these episodes. But just wanted to get this going. And if you are somebody that is interested in being a guest on this podcast, or know of somebody that would be that would enjoy being on this podcast, we'd love to have them. Just send your info to us at hello@hattenhealth.com. You can email us or DM us on Instagram, Facebook. We're on TikTok and YouTube too. So find us, send us a message. We'd love to have you as a guest. We have a guest list already starting to
yeah,
line up, but yeah.
yeah. Be on the lookout for. We're going to be might be doing some live podcast episodes in the near and far future, and wherever you maybe if you're seeing this podcast on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our channel. It's Hatten Health, Hatten Health, across all social media platforms. Make sure you share this, drop a comment, and let us know how you feel. If you have any questions, you want to talk to us. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, do the same. Share, drop a comment. Make sure you follow and tell people, anybody that you may know could use this information or just interested in what we're doing, or if you have any inquiries and maybe wanting to collab with us or something, maybe a podcast like Abby said, or recipes, or just anything. We're open.
And we plan for these to be more educational too. This first one we're just mostly talking about ourselves, but we'll have a lot more nutrition and cooking information that we'll be diving into in future episodes as well.
Absolutely.
And we also do a free virtual cooking class once a month on the first Sundays of every month. It's called Sunday Family Dinner. And we do a different one pot recipe every month that's easy for you to follow. And like I said, it's free. It's a free virtual cooking class. You get to hop on Zoom with us and cook along with us. And so you have a meal ready to go for Sunday evening.
Yeah, we do it right here in our home. And if you hop on with us, you can do it, follow along in your home, cooking with us, or just taking notes. But the whole goal of that is just educate and enjoy Sunday family dinner as a family. If it's virtual, or if you happen to be in the area and you want to stop by and do it here with us in person, we're open to that too.
Yep.
Yeah, we try to create a family atmosphere from our family to yours, really.
Yeah.
And this podcast will be evolving. We'll always have ideas for new things we're going to be doing. If you've seen the masterclass already, just know stay along with us because we got some cool things coming up for us. Production is going to step up. We have menus going to step up. Everything. So, like you said, if you're seeing this now, you're hearing the ground level foundation with us, so you can grow with us. If you're in the future and you're seeing this video as a past, if you're going back in the past watching this, it's good to know where we started, humble beginnings, and thank you for joining us now.
Yeah. And we have different coaching programs too. And so we always like to usually we start our coaching calls with a positive affirmation. And then we also include some nutrition tips of the day on those calls. So we'd like to do that on these podcasts as well.
Yeah, want to go and get one?
Yeah. So to start, we have these different motivation cards, so we figured those could be our positive affirmations for this podcast.
We'll do two or just one?
Let's just do one.
Okay.
All right. So it says, "Nothing is so often irretrievably missed as a daily opportunity." Mary von Ebner Esch. I'm gonna butcher this. Eschenbach.
Okay.
Nothing is so often irretrievably missed as a daily opportunity. Mary von Ebner Eschenbach.
These are really deep. I really like these. If you've been following either one of us for a while, you may have seen us post a couple of these as a story or something on Facebook and Instagram every now and then. But like she said, we plan on doing these every podcast, every coaching call, and diving deep into them.
I got these for our college graduation gift.
Yeah, they're really nice.
I think Margaret Leader got these for me. Shout out to Margaret. And been having them out ever since. So, and then nutrition tip that I want to share with you guys. We are in mid-May right now, and May is a huge produce month. So lots of different produce are in season for the month of May. So definitely make sure you're getting your fill of your produce every week, because taking advantage of these in-season produce, because not only are they more flavorful, they are more nutrient dense, tend to be less expensive too, because they're in season and grown locally.
Yeah.
So there's not so much expense of bringing them in from a different country. And so they're fresher too, so they last longer as well. So is there a way to attach this to a podcast, like on YouTube?
You can attach a link to that.
Yeah, well, okay.
Yeah.
Also, you can go to our website at hattenhealth.com, and we'll have this posted as well, and we'll update it every month. So if you're watching this later on, just go look to see what the latest produce list is on hattenhealth.com.
That link will be in the description too on the YouTube version of this.
Okay. So I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of some popular ones that are in season for the month of May. So as far as fruits go, we have strawberries. We just got some strawberries, and they're
really good. Really
you can tell.
Yeah.
And so if you go to local farmers markets too, they just started up majority of them this weekend. So they should have all of this produce as well. Excuse me, to support your local farmers. Blueberries, cherries, apricots, mangoes, pineapple if you live somewhere tropical, bananas, avocados, even blackberries and raspberries. So all your berries, if your toddler is in love with berries right now, May is your month. Rhubarb, cantaloupe, grapes, and peaches. Those are your fruits. As far as veggies go, artichokes, asparagus, beets, carrots, spinach, your lettuce and spring greens, peas and snap peas, radishes, green onions and scallions, kale. Those charges just boring for anybody.
No, I don't think so. You made it this far, you definitely are here to
broccoli, cauliflower, cucumbers, green beans, zucchini, peppers, so bell peppers, any kind of peppers, fava beans, leeks, bok choy, and pea shoots, mushrooms, and potatoes. And then also on this list, I included some fresh herbs. So if you're making certain dish and you'd rather use fresh versus dried, or even different beverages, so mint, for example, is in season. So if you want to make a mojito mocktail, or include in some sweet tea or even some water, mint is the time to use right now. Parsley, cilantro, dill, and chives. So hopefully that's helpful for you. Again, we'll have this all listed on our website.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for joining us for our first episode of the Hatten Health Podcast. I've had my beat machine here. I'd add some sound effects at that part, but I'll spare you this time.
Also, allergies are in season right now. Pollen is really high. That's why I'm a little sniffly. Apologize for that.
No worries. You still sound great.
All right.
Well, let's grow together, one meal at a time as a family. Growth, empowerment, and
family and health.
We got so many sayings and mantras, man. We just like to pick our favorite ones and just get them out at you. So
we are focused on family, health, growth, and empowerment.
Yes.
Let's make it happen together.
Bye. Did it!
Wait. Cheers to you.
Cheers to your health. You did great.